I'm making a video of how my thought processes happen. This guy makes a lot of great videos. He shares in-depth analysis to different Formula One technologies that are hard to encounter otherwise. So when it comes to braking, this is one thing I've been thinking about for a lot of years. Like, how can we optimize braking? Because it just seems like it never really makes a whole lot of sense to me. And looking at braking technology, we're using a wearable product to slow things down. It's always wear and wear and wear. And so in my head, I'm thinking about opposing piston engines, how we could take the combustion phase and sort of reverse that for a compression variable, fuel variable decomposition of acceleration of the piston, so that when you let off, say the combustion phase, when a piston's going up and down, now you're putting full throttle on. And let me get a piston image. This is gonna be a lot easier than just waving my hand around. I'm not good at one hand typing with my left hand, but okay. So piston chamber, right? So when you have full throttle, this has all the fuel input. What if you let off slightly and you could vary that explosive compression to the rear of the piston to slow the piston down? And well, this is one of the things that I'm like, well, how many different variables are there to encounter? How to actually finally slow these down more efficiently without burning so much carbon? And these brakes cost tens of thousands of dollars, and this is the best technology, and this can benefit people if they know how to use it, rather than, I don't know if I, not in one of my videos, I was driving down the road and a guy in a Subaru WRX STI, these cars are so fast, and every turn he would slam on his brakes and slow way down and then go right up to driving speed. And I'm in a Jeep and I come up behind him because I understand that I don't need to go that slow. And I go around him eventually. He slams on his brakes right in front of me. I go around him. And then he sort of like slams on his gas to like harass me. But in every turn again, he just keeps slamming on his brakes. And we get to a light eventually. Later on the road when you get into town. And he just starts yelling at me. And he's got these thick glasses on. And I'm like, you have a really nice car. I could teach you how to drive that. Rather than being a hazard. With too much performance. Because when you have too much performance and you don't know how to utilize it or appropriate it, it actually becomes more dangerous, right? Just this is what a lot of people get blamed for. That's why I always wanted to write a licensing system for proving that you know how to actually properly use this technology so that you're not a danger. And other than that, back to braking. So there's lots of different ways. Applying one way I was always thinking was an axle that drives, but it's a tether. It's like a threaded cable, like what we use to build bridges with, that can separate when pressure isn't applied. So it's like a torsion bar, like a torsion suspension, but it's a torsion braking system. And then you have the standard braking system, which don't really honestly work that well. I was burning things. I don't understand why we don't. If the engine can make us go, why can't the engine slow us down when we have engine braking? But it's rough on the transmission. So then you need axial, you need drive shaft, you need all these different braking systems to work in tandem. And so like here, if you could have opposed piston design, how would we apply a braking force from compressive gas or even explosive gas in an emergency need to really force everything to slow down? If everything is working in a locked nature, the only weakness then is your friction coefficient of your tire tread. And I am not explaining anything. So you know, with opposed piston engines, you have the opportunity to fill this entire chamber up, various other engine concepts to create opposition of drive. And I know it's on a frequency basis. You have to do this at a specific rate, because if it's an abrupt force, then things just really fall apart and or explode. But that's all I want to say.